Anybody that called for anybody that called my live earlier, there she goes. Always happy to help. So we got the car jumped. We couldn't get the battery out because it was stripped. We ended up taking the battery out this Buick, the one we had before, and so she's going to go to O'Reilly's and they're going to use their tools to put it in. So all in all, mission complete. She just needed to calm down. That's what I told her. She was kind of panicking, but sometimes it may not always work, but sometimes when you just relax and just chill out for a little bit, it'll more than likely work. So sorry about that earlier. I had my live that I cut short, but you know, uh, like I was just saying earlier on the live, the main problem with feeding the machine is that we'll righteously feed the machine, and that's what I want to talk about. I see sometimes people that can survive on almost nothing, and when I say that, I'm not saying they're better than anybody else. What I'm saying is a lot of times, a lot of stuff we have, we don't need. I see a lot of influencers buying brand new stuff and doing all this stuff, which, I mean, if they're making money, okay. But these influencers are basically like everyday Americans, you know what I mean? We sit here and consume all this stuff. I'll see people with their huge TVs, brand new ones every tax season, new cars, new this, new that. Which, if you need a new car and all that other stuff, I'm not knocking that. I'm saying the people that can't go to the grocery store without a brand new pair of shoes. Kanye spoke about that in a song one time before he went off the deep end. So, you know, that's why I try to tell people, just remain calm at all times if you can. Because I know, see, the problem with most humanity is we see the calm outer person, but people don't see that anxiety, that stuff on the inside that'll lock a person up if they're not careful. Impulse control and different stuff like that. So, that's why I try to teach people and be there for people to the best of my ability. See, she came and needed help, so I was willing to help her, especially in the middle of a live. I was like, ooh, got him. But, it ended up working out for the best. So, that's basically my character in everyday life. I try to fix situations when I do feel myself getting upset or mad, because, I'm like, man, now we got another Buick in the drive, but I'm like, nah, don't take that stance. Be helpful, speak it to be. I was like, it's finna start. She jumped the car and everything started and happened. But back to capitalism. I said this in another video. Um, and the video I'm talking about, by the way, is the live one that I just did, the Kingdom of Heaven one in my live section. But anyways, like I say with a lot of these elites and leaders, if you guys would start to fix the world and make it better, they'll look at you guys like the gods. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be worshipped like gods. That goes against what I'm saying. Is you'll look like good men, good women, you'll look like the pillars in the new kingdom, the heart, the new world. Because I said this in another video. What does it profit to have all these billions of dollars and all these structures and no friends, no family, no real community? I mean, some of the food drives I see, you guys are basically giving out almost expired food to get tax breaks. That's how grimy and scummy these corporations have gotten. And I can't speak on every single one, because there are a lot of people that do good. Just like me, the news sometimes exemplifies what's wrong out here. But I do that for a specific purpose, to teach people. Like, when you think about it, I spoke on this one time, and people mocked me for it. And I said, if you really think about it, life could be like an RPG in the sense that we have the resources to farm and breed animals. First of all, we charge so much stuff, but then we take all these breaks, and then we take all these financial cuts in terms of doing the right thing, or financial surpluses instead of doing the right thing. Like when you see people being bribed instead of doing the job right, or when you see people, different corporations passing things and turning the other cheek, or turning a blind eye to negativity that's going on instead of fixing it. Then a lot of times when something bad does happen, they try to blame the employee or something. And the irony is that employee is the one that usually tells the company what's going wrong, and they never want to hear it. I can't remember the specific airline company. I think they're called Boeings or something like that, but that just happened with them. They were trying to get rid of whistleblowers and all this other stuff, and look what happened. But anyway, the point is, These corporations, instead of being a corporation plantation, y'all could be like the corporate heroes, man. Y'all could be the new Captain Planets. Y'all can sit here and pay people the righteous ways. Or if anything, the whole country as an establishment can come together. We can do all these rallies and stuff. Why can't we come together in a stadium and just agree to lower stuff and agree to start over in terms of inflation? Why can't a cheeseburger be 50 cents again? That would increase the value of 50 cents, and other people in other countries would already have all this money. Then everybody would be happy. There'd be new leaders. I'm telling y'all, man. And when I say new leaders, I'm saying there'd already be the wealthy that's here. Plus, it will give a lot of other people an opportunity to grow and build in this country. You know, America is a beautiful place, and it is a hold on, I gotta take the. When we were dealing with the cars, I had to move the garbage from off the curb. Now I gotta take it back. But you know, if you guys would actually just fix this country instead of being so grimy and scammy all the time, then it'd be a better place. It would be paradise. And I saw this video where these psychologists were assessing Donald Trump's and the Republicans and the different people in political parties. They were psychoanalyzing them and speaking about them, and they have a book about it, The Psychology of Failed Capitalism, I think it's called, or something like that. You guys can Google these things and YouTube these things, but it's everywhere. People, now that we have the internet, people are speaking out, and that's what we're trying to tell these people in these corporate spaces. And if you look at the word elite, that's elite. Elite entertainment, right? So you guys, I'm telling you, it'd be good if you start helping people and making, like, even a corporation, if y'all started paying people 20-25 an hour, and then, like, not only that, lower the price. Because what's going to happen is, let's say y'all lower the prices and increase pay, you're going to make everybody level again. You guys keep saying we'll lose corporate dollars. No, you won't. Here's the idea. Okay, you have a store called Juannie's, and you have a store called Fuck You, we're a corporation and we got lawyers and shit. At Juannie's, he's selling hot dogs and burgers for $1 because I could get a pound of hamburger. Because if you guys realize how much these corporations, a lot of them are using like fillers and preservatives, and then they're charging for, like, so let's say I go to Kroger's or Walmart or something, or one of these stores, and get a pound of hamburger maybe for $5.50, right? So out of that pound of hamburger, if you guys know how, like, they get 10 patties out of that. So now I just sold 10 cheeseburgers for a loaf of bread, some condiments, and some meat. If you sell each of them cheeseburgers for $2-3, you just made $30 fucking dollars. You know what I'm saying? On what, $6-7 profit. And if you do that over and over all day long, you just make bajillions of dollars. These corporations are making billions and billions and billions, worth trillions of dollars, and still living by this enslaving poverty type system. And one day it's going to go from the poor to the middle class up to the rich, and then you're going to have super wealthy kings again. And if you guys wish to avoid that, I'm telling you, you need to fix the system. Because no matter how much of an elite you think you are, you're sitting there with your millions, even if you're a billionaire, when it gets to the point where there's a king or some type of religious hierarchy, they keep talking about a Mashiach is coming. Alrighty. Telling y'all, I'm trying to warn you all that elite stuff gonna go out the window when you get a king or a oligarchy or whatever it's called. Sorry, I don't never memorize something you can look up. Oligarch, I think it's called. So even if you look at these royal families in England, dude, and these other places in Europe, they took all the resources and power between these little bitty families. We need to stop that and come together and be like the original America, minus all the slavery and bullshit. A free country for all, where it's not terribly hard to live. You guys are treating some of these purchases like we NPCs in a video game, and the outside people are having fun with tokens and credits. Are you kidding me? Shit, like some places in the world, in Decatur here, when I was working, my rent at the last place I was at was $5.50 a month. We had a 4-bedroom. It had a basement, upstairs, but see, some of these cities and these big places, man, they out here charging $2,000. Are y'all mad? How? None of this stuff makes sense. Y'all are trying to become ultra wealthy, and the people that's inside trying to live aren't going to be able to keep up with this, the fallacy of this system and how it keeps inflating like a balloon. And then when it pops, There's going to be nothing but anarchy everywhere. So this is what I'm trying to teach people to the best of my ability. Come together. I'm telling you, Jews aren't the problem. Blacks aren't the problem. Gay, LGBTQ aren't the problem. All you people swimming in Leviticus. Women are not the problem. I made a video talking about how there was a divide between black men and black women, African men and African women in this country. But you want that divide to shut? Then be friendlier to each other. You don't have to be with a black man. You don't have to be with a black woman. But you can respect each other like human beings and act like you all are family still. But I'm not sitting here telling y'all that y'all don't have, like, be with who you want to be with. But stop being so mean to everybody else. Everything that people are doing is basically projections. They're projecting their lifestyle and their will onto other people. I'll see people in random chats. They'll be like, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about Hamas? How do you feel about Trump? How do you feel about blah, 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 blah? It's like, who fucking cares how they feel? Is that going to affect your life? You know what I mean? It's just like vain arguments and stuff. So yeah, there is oppression, and y'all need to change this dollar system, because BRICS is going to come in, and there's different ways to create and establish money systems. You know what I mean? I don't really necessarily need to speak on it, but anything can be treated. You could treat rocks as currency. If you don't believe me, that's all coins are metals, right? Rocks and paper from trees. It's the idea behind it. And if you destroy the monopoly with too many hotels, nobody else is going to want to play. And when everybody else stops playing and a person is sitting there looking silly, then y'all are going to fuck around and find out. So that's why I came on this camera talking about the 10 Commandments and the I am and all that. And we're all free, and we can, as long as we follow basic laws. Like I keep hearing people say, are we saved if we follow the 10 Commandments, and we don't need to follow the 10 Commandments? Like when I hear people say that, I think y'all are psychopaths. The 10 Commandments is don't commit adultery, don't steal, don't kill. Y'all are acting like it's a magical game. Do you really? Okay, so if I put you in a room full of people and I said don't follow none of the 10 Commandments and gave everybody weapons, how would you fucking feel? You would feel real stupid at that point, right? Like y'all are treating it like we're fucking religion and not being honest about life. And so please fix this capitalism, because it's going to get to the point where, like I said before, once a person feels something, words don't matter no more. And just like I keep telling Israel, them going to these people's land, those are Germans and Polish people. Okay, I'm not even going to keep saying I'm not trying to be racist. But what y'all are doing is y'all are going to Palestine and doing the same thing that the Romans and the Greeks did. It's like a perpetual system that's ending here. I wish that y'all would listen to who I am and what I am telling you all. Because I'm just trying to do this humbly to the best of my ability. So, you know, the medical system, real talk psychology, if I was y'all, I'd stop going after all these citizens and trying to diagnose them, and I'd go after some of these politicians and leaders and stuff and tell the truth about what they doing. Go against some of these CEOs and corporate systems that are controlling people and causing them to live in poverty if they don't bow to these people's wills. Because I'm telling you, it's going to get to the point where life is going to be unbearable, and all these beautiful blessings and inventions people keep coming up with, they're not going to keep coming up with it, and it's going to get real bare if you catch my drift. You guys love when these prophets say there's going to be famines and droughts and stuff. And I even said this before. Think of the Holy Spirit, if you want to step outside the cosplay for a second. The spirit of who I am, or who I should be, the original nature of man, turned into something beautiful, right? I thought it was going to be training mankind on the 6th day to make them beautiful. Not day 3, 4, 5, 6, and all this other stuff. So if you all would listen to who I am. So the Holy Spirit, right, causes us to come together, create societies, create civilizations. And then we do what? We create certain things like different surgeries, medical institutions. Now they can have surgeries where the deaf can hear again, the blind can see again. While I don't 100% agree with how certain CEOs and politicians use certain things like Neuralink, I see the positivities behind it, being able to map through minds if people are in like comas and stuff. I'm just telling you, there's beautiful things that can be done with certain science and technology. But so that takes what? The Holy Spirit. Now, while a lot of people do it for money and vain reasons, ultimately the victor is peace and love and the Holy Spirit, and different things can be created. And so a person can be like, it never happened, I'm atheist, blah, blah, blah. But in literal history, it did happen. The blind were able to see again, and the deaf were able to hear. Outside of the spiritual realm of that, talking about the actual word and spirit. Word and spirit meaning, like, I'll give you an example. You have me total, Juannie Jr., Juan Bruce. And then you have the things I say. The things I say may bring spirits attached to them, and once it's inside, it will deal with the person. And so, like, imagine if you never had nobody like to teach you about racism and institutional capitalism and fascism and different stuff like that. We wouldn't know any better, and so if we had power, we wouldn't fight against it. But since a lot of people are aware of it and are knowledgeable of it and know the pain of it, that's when people can fight against it and do what's right. You know, a lot of times, I'm not saying exactly how everybody live, but a lot of times people that come from pain, poverty, and no pain, a lot of times they're the ones that fight pain the most and try to freedom fight the most. But then again, sometimes you have narcissists. And when I say narcissists, I'm just simply speaking on people who are very vain all the time. Like, don't care about how they treat people. Because each of us have our own ego, and some of us can be narcissists, and many times we are a part of nature. And nature devours and it builds. But at the same time, as learned men, as intellectual men that claim to be holy, like, here's the thing, I heard a person bring this up, which I'm not putting my stance on abortion or anything. What I'm about to say is a person will talk about abortion and all this other stuff and a child being life from the womb, but then go slaughter animals. I don't understand where people come with this. You know what I mean? It's just, it all seems like people are coping. And so once the system stops eating people and works with people so that we can come together and survive, then society will become paradise and we can do great things. I said this many times, the next person that's about to invent the greatest next thing possibly is in poverty somewhere and we don't know it. And because now, look at what happened look at what happened in Germany. We brought a bunch of Jewish people over here and we brought a bunch of German people over here. And they invented and did great things, but also a lot of negativity was spawned out of that until what was respawned was racism and fascism. So, this is what I tell people. It doesn't matter who you are. What matters is how you deal with yourself in life. Because I even heard Rabbi Fried Man, man is fried man. If you take Rabbi Friedman's name and split it apart, it's fried man. Man is fried man. But anyways, he said that a Japanese man was tilling a garden, and he was all like into things being beautiful and the nature of things. So then the man who owned the home came out and paid him, and he was like, "No, I don't need this." And he was like, "No, you did a service." And then he's like, that's how God is. You do something nice for God, blah, 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 make the world better. But then later down the line, he was like, people who pray and beg for things for God and this and that and woo, 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 they're just wasting their time and da-da-da-da. So you talking about doing something nice for God, but then when people asking for God help because they don't got the money or resources because of the type of poverty they come from or the type of lifestyles they live in, people say vain, mean things to them. You see what I'm saying? They're just feeding the machine. And so people know the damage that was caused after Yehohanan was killed. Yanez. Sorry, when I say Yehohanan, that's because how the Romans pronounced it, and then from the English aspect, that's how I thought it sounded. So Yanez, Jonathan, whatever you want to say. After he was killed with all this Messiah stuff, you see what was manifested in Greece and Rome. So to those people that are claiming to be something. And so the irony of that is, to me, because like even the reason I get mad at history sometimes is because they'll say, okay, 6 million died. That's tragic. But even if you look at the Native Americans, they have 5.5 million enslaved, almost 6 million enslaved. I'm pretty sure it's more than that. Those are just figurative numbers, not even figurative. But I'm saying it's more than that when you look at history because of the number of people killed. And so you look at that, and it's like, okay, that many killed. In Africa, they had all these millions and millions, almost 30 million people killed, the 10 million from the Congo, and then the 15 million from the transatlantic slave trade. Do you guys know how many slaves died on them trips and on them boats because of disease and famine and all this other stuff? And so this is what I'm trying to get people to see, like, they're trying to mow over history, and certain people won't let it be done, like a mountain in the grass when people are trying to mow the grass, so to speak. That mountain not going nowhere. And so, you know, I am who I am, you are who you are. Let us come together and enjoy paradise and treat it righteously and start doing right. Because I keep telling people in these videos, when I'm telling people to donate and feed the poor and all that, I'm not talking about like the lower class and middle class. This is for the elites. Y'all could have soup kitchens on every corner. Y'all, why should, as hard as civilians work and as little as they make, y'all should be feeding us for free or giving us transportation or something. The buses, then y'all charge to get on the buses, but we can't get jobs and stuff. And even if, like, real talk, you got a job and you got to ride a bike or constantly get on buses and walk, y'all elites have no idea how that feel. The prices of cars and how much stuff costs, basic metals and stuff that we already knew how to mold and bend. But now y'all create institutions like welding and all this stuff. You got to go to college for all these years. Then you're just a corporate plant that's making like 15 an hour. It's brutal, man. Y'all got to chill and up. Y'all got to turn these fires down, or people are going to turn into more fiery warriors. Keep trying to tell people this. And Israel, while I don't support Hamas, I'm telling you all, the way you all are colonizing this land is really mimicking how the Pope did for all them years and how America did and how these people did in Europe. And it's not going to look pretty in history, and people are going to get tired of it. People are not listening to y'all say Russia and China and Communist and all this other stuff in Africa. Y'all are liars, deceitful, and destructive. And now they're learning the truth. So, you know what I mean? While I don't believe in people being censored as hardcore as they are sometimes, at the same time, if you think America is free, come try to get on YouTube and talk about certain communities while they blaster others. It's all the same construct. And so, you know, we need to come together and put down the swords and guns and stuff, man. And if we're going to use those things, we need to use them to hunt righteously like animals to eat and stuff. And when I say that, dude, they done already started with this cats and dogs shit. I keep telling them the power of the word and spirit. Look, he used some words, and then look what spirit was brought later. Are you guys starting to believe what I'm telling y'all? For every word, sometimes things can happen later if we're not careful and not under divine protection. When I say divine protection, I keep telling y'all the name of the word and spirit, or the power of the word and spirit, and how when one can see oneself outside of the dark, it begins to come more clear instead of doing for some vague spirit that we never learned about. It even says test every spirit that comes our way, but then it says thou shalt not tempt who I am. Okay, so I'm a really search myself. Okay, so I'm gonna really search myself and see if it's something that's righteous for me or something that I would do. And then if it's not, thou shalt not tempt me, Satan. Get behind me. Even saying Satan, you don't got to do all that. You whatever you're into. I'm just saying, you know, the ideology of basically people be like, why do good things? It's because, like, it's not about doing the good thing. It's my nature. It's goodness. There's enough negativity in the world. I don't need to destroy it further, if that makes sense. I can do righteous things. I know what pain feels like. And so I don't want other people feeling pain because I know it is painful. It's called awareness. And so, you know, like I said, I'm not a perfect angel. There are a lot of things that I am learning. But that's why I tell people peace, mercy, love, and empathy. A father isn't trying to strike his child. He is teaching his child at every point in time. And even that whole father, the spirit, one doesn't want to hurt oneself. If one is a parent, one knows it just wants good for its child, whether a man or a woman. Because, see, they had no problem with putting the spirit of a powerful man in people for years and years and years. But then when all these men do it and they start to put the motherly feminine spirit in men, then they're like, oh, gay, this and that, and calling people names and stuff. So you see what I mean? It's all back and forth, and it needs to stop. We need to stand behind the stone and do what's right and use the fires that don't consume to help guide others instead of trying to burn them alive with folklore. Just like anytime, real talk, I hear somebody saying, like, oh, they claim to be a man of God or all this stuff for God and the word God. I keep telling y'all, I hear German. In the name of Germany, for this German, this African American man I heard talking on stream earlier was clowning other black men, saying, we did this to black women and that to black women and this to black women and we're the enemies and we're the. And I keep telling y'all, it just all shit rolls downhill. It all keeps coming down in my corner. And I'm telling y'all, I will create a catapult and throw it back, so to speak. If you understand my metaphors, we have been pushed to wrath for the last time. And I'm tired of explaining this. So, will you all begin to help us, or will you all continue to fight us and continue to create a system of detasseling from the corporate plantation? You all can be the new heroes, or the government too. Like if the government follows the corporations because they have the money, corporations do what's right, pay people more, make these products less expensive. Stop out, like real talk. And they keep talking about America. They outsource almost all this stuff. I'm telling you all, if you do research and understand these things, you'll see like it's all hypocrisy. So I hope that can be edifying. I hope corporate America and not even just America, I hope all these businesses and corporations and powerful entities can begin to change religions and princes and kings, because I don't care who you are, where you come from. I am who I am, and I'm a peaceful, loving person, and I just want paradise. And in order for that to happen, people have to learn to, because it's cool. All right, I get it. It's cool. Bible, cool, awesome. We have a fan club. We have a group. But that group's not doing what they're supposed to. Different people like the Pope and these big evangelists and Jehovah's Witness and all this. Instead of knocking on people's door, giving them scriptures, I'm pretty sure they like food. I'm sure they like money. I'm sure they like resources. Cars, so they don't have to. The number of elderly black men and even anybody on the streets that I see walking and riding bikes. And elderly black women too. Just elderly anybody, whatever. But so all these communities need help, man. So we need to come together and be a family and start telling the truth about history and start telling the truth about our brothers and sisters. So stay blessed.